Hey, Louie, how are you doing?
I'm great. And how are you? How's your family and everyone?
Everyone's staying safe. We're COVID-free at this point, so that's good. That's a plus, right?
Too, yeah. Yeah, that's important. And, my sister lived in Plano, Texas, and I got nieces and nephews there in the Dallas area. Yvette and Eugene and David and the gang there, the Champagnes, and I just want to say a shout out.
That's cool. I didn't know you had family over here.
Yeah.
So what are you doing during this apocalypse to keep busy?
Well, I've been working on a few things. I just finished a movie called Hey, Call Your Mother. It's a movie about comedians and their moms. It's going to be on Comedy Central Sunday night, and it's just about how moms have affected comedy in our lives.
Yeah.
It's comedians and their mothers, and it was really fun. I got to really talk about my mom, and she's alive and well in my act all the time. So,
Right.
And I even played her on TV as Christine Baskett. So it was really, it's really been a full circle thing. So that's going to be on. That'll be fun. I just finished doing these sketches for Funny or Die for the Feeding of America that's on Sunday night too on NBC and the Weather Channel and comedy.tv with Byron Allen, Eddie Murphy, Chris Rock, Jack Black's in it, Adam Sandler. I mean, there's Tiffany Haddish. Everybody's on that thing. And I did a sketch too for the thing, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Do you think we'll ever see a Life with Louie reboot at some point, now that we're in kind of a reboot culture?
Well, it's so funny that you would say that, but we've been working on it, that exact thing. That's really funny. People ask me about Life with Louie every day, and I think I've been talking to Matt O'Callahan, who's the other creator, and we're trying to put together we were in the process of it, and then the pandemic happened. So we've continued to work on it and hope that we'll be able to revive that show, which a lot of people fell in love with. And I was lucky enough to recreate my family and make it, make it the thing that a lot of people really enjoyed that show. And I loved making it. It was one of the high points in my life where I got to really make something that I thought, not just kids, but kids and their families could watch.
Yeah, I loved it. I remember growing up watching that, and I was also a fan of Bobby's World. Was there ever a plan to do like a crossover event with Louie and Bobby?
We talked about it one time because they were talking about having all those Fox Kids shows do kind of back-to-back crossovers with the leading into each other, but it never quite manifested. I think in those kind of things with animation, you have to plan them so far out.
Right.
I think it was talked about, and a lot of times people say, "Hey, I love your show, Bobby's World," to me, and I go, "Yeah, that was a great show." I don't argue with them. I just go, "Yeah, thank you," because it's more fun to do that.
Right.
Sometimes people say, "I love your show, Buckets." And I go, "Oh, well, thank you." Because I argue with people. You're that one guy, right? Yes, I am. I'm that one guy.
By the way, speaking of buckets or baskets, as it's called, your role in that was fantastic. You play Zach Galifianakis' mother. Your performance is so great because you're really kind of portraying a version of your mother, correct, on this show? I mean, it's so real and grounded that at times I forget that I'm watching Louie Anderson playing Zach's mom. You know what I mean?
Yeah, thank you very much. I really love doing it, and I'm glad that you enjoyed it. It's on Hulu now, so a lot of people get to see it now, which I'm really excited about. And I'm going to start a podcast where I talk about each of the episodes for the last 4 years and what they meant to me and what I was thinking when I was making it, and have guests on like Martha and different people and Zach and the director. I had a blast doing that show, and that's how this book that I have, Hey Mom, came about. I came home from baskets one day, and I just had a pretty emotional scene, and I started writing a letter to my mother. it was the weirdest thing. I just go, "Hey, Mom, I haven't talked to you for a long time, and I wrote this letter that, I poured my heart out, and then I said, hey, by the way, I'm playing you on TV." And then it really just kept flowing out of me, and that's kind of how my writing goes. It comes to me, and then I just, really embrace it. And so I am really glad. I'm really glad I get to write that. Now the book's out on paperback, and it's a great Mother's Day gift. And I always tell people, you should write a letter. If you buy the book, you should write your letter to your mom.
Yeah.
Because I think everybody has something to say to their mom. They're such big parts of their lives.
So is it basically a collection of letters that you were writing to your mother, essentially?
Yeah, they're all the things I didn't get to ask her and all the things I didn't get to tell her.
Yeah. That's so great. Is there an audiobook version as well? Or
yeah, there's a version that I read, and I think people would really enjoy that too.
Any plans for a Netflix special?
I'm always working. I was just talking with some people who are producers, and I said, maybe do I want to shoot a show? Do I want to shoot a special where I don't have an audience for half of it, and half of it where I do have an audience?
Yeah.
I've been toying with the idea. Yeah, I'd like to shoot a new special. I don't know if it'll be on Netflix. There's so many platforms now. I love Netflix. Don't get me wrong. But I love the idea. I shot my last one with Comedy Dynamics. It's called Big Underwear, if people want to get that. And that was a lot of fun to do. But yeah, after this time of being sequestered, at home, I've written a lot of material and a lot of ideas.
Do you still go up a lot on stage? You do open mics and stuff to kind of test out material when you can, or is that?
Yeah, you know what I just. I'm in Vegas, there's a lot of comedy clubs, like Kimmel and the Laugh Factory. What I do is I'll call the owners and I'll go, hey, I'm going to come over and I'm working on this new routine. I'm going to stop by and do it, but everything's closed down now, so I'm kind of just doing the routines for my nephew, who's a a comic himself, Josh F. Comedy, if you want to look him up. Very funny guy, and he's been taking care of me during the pandemic, and it's been really fantastic to have someone to talk comedy with and to have a family member here that I can, talk fear and all that stuff that's going through, because this time is probably a time of our lifetime. I don't think that we'll have another time like this in our lives. And so I think it's going to produce a lot of different things. And I think it is producing a lot of artists to reach out and do things. And I'm looking for what happens next. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It's not many times in life where, somebody presses the pause button and you're forced to kind of create outside of your norm. You got to think outside the box. You have to really work at creating your art at this point. And so it is really exciting. I'm curious to see what comes out like the first 6 months once we're all back to normal again.
Yeah, I feel the same way. And I think we're going to be I think it's going to be a nicer country. I'm hoping for
Absolutely.
that. We got those great responders, those first responders, all these people on the front line, and these doctors and nurses, and all the people who take care of the doctors and nurses, the custodians and the people who keep those big hospitals going. Those people are brave, and we shouldn't forget them. They're heroes.
Absolutely. Well, Louie, I appreciate your time so much. It's been a pleasure, and you stay safe.
You too. Thanks so much. Have a great one, okay?
You too. Thank you, sir.